Hey, how's it going, Chris? This is Landon. I'm going to be doing a little critique here of your review draft and your poster draft. Try to give you some helpful comments to see if we can make this thing any better. Just for simplicity and time, I'm just going to go right through the rubric and kind of address it as things come up. And then I'll also kind of go over your poster with my ideas and see if I can kind of make a draft of something that'll help you out and see where I'm coming from or what direction I am trying to go into. Alright, so the first thing we have here is the focal point. What extent does the eye hone in on a spot and immediately captures and directs the viewer's attention? So something I like is the white text here stands out really well against a really dark background. So the Superstition Review in Online Literary Magazine is definitely a focal point. However, I think the SR graphic here and the ASU logo kind of detract from that a little bit. They are the only really pieces inside your poster that have color to them, so the color really pops out and draws your eye almost more so than the title up here. So I'm not sure if the Superstition Review graphic down here, I'm not sure if it's really necessary. And then the ASU logo can be scaled down, and you can also download versions of it that are really, you can get them in just a black outline, just a white outline. So it could be really easy to blend in and not stand out as much as this does. Color contrast for readability. So for yours, as I said, the white text stands out really well in the dark background. I feel like the black text kind of is hard to read, but only a couple. Like the art is maybe a little bit hard to read in literature, and not up close, but at a farther away distance, I feel like they would kind of get lost. But the white text, light text comes forward and black text sinks back. Color aesthetic. So you mentioned that, let's see, this layout, elegant layout, this poster will draw lots of attention from fans of literature and art, both young and old alike. So the photo for me, when I look at it, it's really monotone, really moody. I don't feel like a young person would look at this poster and be drawn to it or necessarily like have an exciting feeling about it. It's monotone, like I said, and just kind of dark. So I feel like maybe if we change the photo, it could make it appeal a bit more better to all ages. And also, just a quick thing about your memo, I didn't notice any persona information in there, so I feel like that could also help you design this a little bit more with one specific audience in mind. Type contrast and hierarchy for emphasis and hierarchy. Superstition Review and an Online Literary Magazine, those definitely have a hierarchy to them. Superstition Review is on top, and it's a lot bigger. First thing you read going down the page, so I think that's done really well. Also, this supplementary information over here is white, and it's also in the same typeface as everything else. So it's grouped nicely, and the hierarchy is obvious, big, small, smaller, and these are a different color and different sizes. With the hierarchy, I feel like these being different sizes kind of detracts from it. Why would literature be bigger than short stories? And obviously it's because you're trying to fit in the text into the space of the books here. But it kind of, I don't know, it's kind of distracting. Like when I go down here, art is really standing out to me because it's bigger and bold. And then I got a kind of poetry and literature, and then maybe issue 14, and then back to short stories. So those are all the same size and in one hierarchy, then I think that could help a little bit. Type aesthetic. To what extent are the type styles used reflective of the purpose of a particular design? So going back to the photo, I feel like the photo and the text are kind of clashing, and it's just because the font is a really like handwritten fun font, and then the picture is a real moody monochromatic dark photo. So I don't know if the photo works best for this poster. I think maybe if if like you say, you're trying to appeal to all ages and stand out and be exciting, then maybe a photo wouldn't be the best way to go. Maybe like an illustration would work better, an illustration of books, and that would let you, you know, kind of have a more stylized and exciting look. Images, just kind of talked about the image. Grid. I'm not sure what program this was made in, but I mean, I see that the text doesn't really line up with each other, and that's kind of obvious here as a why, because you're trying to get these in the books, which makes sense. But then again, an illustration where everything's kind of the same height and maybe even proportional, that could help lining the text up. But yeah, maybe just kind of lining up the text a little bit would have helped with the cohesiveness. But again, I get that you're trying to make it fit in the photo that you used. Balance, what extent is symmetrical, asymmetrical balance, and purposefully in the design, and what to extent parts of the design balance each other evenly. With the title text here and the supplementary text over here, you have a good relationship. I feel like the black text kind of gets lost, and then these kind of detract from the whole thing. So balance-wise, I feel like this whole section down here is a little bit more heavy than this upper section. And I kind of already talked about how we can fix that. So that's how I feel about balance. Proximity and grouping. All the text elements are grouped really well. You can tell that these are supposed to be together in a group, and they're spaced appropriately. Same with these as part of a group. And even these as part of a group is done nicely. The graphics are evenly spaced and, you know, relatively the same size. Repetition. So you use the same typeface and type color. Just two colors, and it's a book photograph in the background, which helps with the cohesiveness. Alignment, what extent do items on the page align with each other? So we have left align text over here. This looks like it's left aligned as well, and then these bits are kind of center aligned. So they're not really cohesively aligned, not like a same kind of pattern going on, which happens sometimes, but I don't know, maybe in the one I redo we can see if that'll help or if it's better your way. White spacing, so there's a lot of negative space here, and that helps because you have a big photo in the background, so you have a lot of empty space here, which kind of helps, you know, draw your eye to the text and kind of like funnel you around. You start here, maybe if you weren't kind of distracted like like I was, you'd start here, and then the spine of the book kind of brings you down to this information, and then from there you can kind of read this. And integration, cohesion of elements, to what extent does various parts of the design look integrated? Yeah, so just going back to the typeface choice and the picture choice, I feel like they kind of clash a little bit, but we can see what we can do about that. And the content. So the content is definitely, it's the, you know, the right content on here that I would agree with is the date and location, you know, what it is and what's going to be there. Definitely important stuff. As far as like a drawing factor for the audience, I don't feel like, I feel like this photo would draw like a real specific audience, someone, you know, who's maybe into like a dark grungy photography almost, but the photo, because it takes up the whole space, it kind of sets the whole mood for the poster, which is just kind of moody and monotone and dark. And your analysis itself is a form memo. Yeah, it's a form memo. Clearly state the intended audience. So for the intended audience, there, like I said, there was no persona, and it kind of just says that it'll, with a simply elegant layout, this poster will draw lots of attention from fans of literature and art, both young and old alike. So I feel like that could be kind of developed a little bit more. Maybe just using the persona from your first memo could help, or just creating one it really does make a big difference. I never used one before this class, and it makes a lot of sense to me now. Thoroughly and clearly account for how design elements and content choices appeal to the audience and accomplishment. Yeah, you had some good analysis here, but just maybe a little bit longer could have helped understand what you were thinking in the design of this. And yeah, I didn't see any grammar mistakes or anything like that, so it read well. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, so I just started redoing some of this. I just kind of copied some of the text that you had and moved it into a new document down here. So as I was saying with the, and again, I'm not sure what program you use for this, but I'm just going to use InDesign. It helps you put your text all on one grid, as we see here. Helps unify the text elements, and you know, you could pull different elements from Photoshop or Illustrator right into it, no problem. So I mentioned that I think it would be beneficial to use maybe an illustration, something more light or something where you can edit the colors. So I'm going to try that here. I just kind of put some initial stuff down here, like social media icons, because you have to download them, and it's a real pain sometimes to find good ones. So I just threw these ones in here. Pick some type. I don't know about this one. So yeah, I'll start with the font, I guess. The font, and use kind of like a hand-drawn, handwritten. Here we go. It's gonna say Superstition Review. I actually like this first one a lot. The Chicken Love Story. Okay. Sure, why not? Chicken Love Story. Is that like a thing? Is that like a movie or something that I just haven't heard of? That sounds kind of weird. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. And let's make it like 5. Cool. I'm just going to move it up to the top margin here, just so it aligns with that. The baseline looks pretty good with that. This font is the secondary font I'm going to use. It's called Equestrial. It's one I've been using a lot. It's all like Century Gothic. I think it looks pretty sweet. I'm just going to adjust the lighting here so it lines on the baseline. So what is that? 20 over 28. And this one's 28. This is for 28 here. Should eventually align with the grid. There we go. Okay, so as far as the main graphic we're going to use, the website I use a lot is called Flat Icon, and a lot of free SVG, pretty much any format you want. You can get like a Photoshop format, Illustrator format, EPS, SVG, anything. You basically just search it. So I'm just going to search book. Books. Let's see. So these are all just free icons you can download in any format. And another cool thing is their other website called Freepik has a lot of illustrations you could use, which comes in handy sometimes. Let's see if they have anything like, they have full illustrations that you can download and you get the whole Illustrator file for it. Anything cool looking here? Sometimes they tend to show you the best ones in the preview. And it kind of refreshes, so I'll just see if anything pops up here that looks good. Ooh, that one looks pretty good. I like it. So we're just going to download this thing. Alright. Yeah, it's pretty awesome resource, like I said. Just gives you all the different file options, and just copy all this stuff, put it right here. Scale down a little bit. It's cool, the color scheme with the purple and like the teal almost matches with the one I just randomly picked, so that's cool. Alright. So text should line up with text, and graphics should line up with graphics. So we're going to put maybe the ASU logo and the Superstition Review can go down here, or maybe just the ASU logo. So that might line up with this. Let's see here. What if we put it in the top of that? Nah. Let's keep that there. And it actually looks pretty good by itself. Maybe we can make this more interesting. Let's try 120. Cool. Make this a little bit bigger. So that lines up there. And it's on the baseline there. It's not too high now, though. Cool. Issue 14, Release Party, Literature, Short Stories, Poetry, Art. Maybe that could just be kind of secondary over here. Right. And the natural shape of these kind of match the books, which is cool. Maybe we can incorporate that somehow. If we make this the same as the, was it Chicken Love? Sorry, Chicken Loves. And let's try 18. That's too small. 24. It's not a bold now. 38. Looks good. Make this the kind of purple color. This font doesn't have a hashtag glyph. That's fun. What does it have? It has an ampersand. Is that an ampersand? Seriously, no. It does not have that. Well, that's lame. We'll just leave that ampersand out, I guess, and read about it later. What if we make this font same blue as that book? So I feel like they should be, Superstition Review, what the event is, and then what the additional information is. This font doesn't really have a set baseline, so we'll just put it there. Cool. Maybe we can make this book bigger or something. How weird it'll look if we stretch it like that. Pretty ridiculous. Alright, there's that. This text lines up. And so I'll just throw the ASU logo in here. And you could download all the ASU logos if you go to, oh dang, that one looks really cool. That looks really cool. I may have to change it. Oh, this one's not free though. Okay, screw it. Anyways, ASU logo. If you go to ASU brand guide, I think. Just Google it. It's like the comm guide. You can go to like resources, and right here actually, I think. ASU logo. Download ASU logo, and you can download all these different ones in the different formats that you need them. I already have them though, so. Logos, ASU. Maybe I'll throw the full color one in there. That one work. Let's try that one. Kind of have to open them in Illustrator first, though. Whoever saved all these did a bad job because you have to unlock every stupid layer before you can copy any of it, which is really annoying. Every group. I don't know why they did that. It's like, here, use our logo, but we're going to make it really hard for you to use. It's also really a pain to copy. Oh, I actually did it first time. I don't think that's ever done that for me. It always takes like 100 times to copy it. Okay, so this text is right aligned, this is left aligned, and this is left aligned. What if we make this left aligned, but just kind of extend it? So in the paragraph settings, you set the left indent here. I don't know how many inches that is. It's like 7 inches. No, too much. 5 inches. 5.5. And actually, I just noticed that we have the 3-column grid set up here since yours kind of goes off 3 columns, so this is inside the 3rd column, so we can just do the same thing for this one. Copy that text box and put this one. There we go. Well, didn't want to do it, so just put it way off. It's because there's a bunch of spacing on the top, maybe. Oh no, it's because the indent is still set. Derf, okay. Line up on that baseline here. And with that margin. But you see it doesn't fit in the column, so just make it a little smaller. How does that look? Cool. I mean, I think that's pretty interesting. You see a stack of books, it wouldn't be giant or anything from a distance, but you would kind of notice this, and maybe you've noticed these. What's up? Anyways, yeah, I mean, I think you get what I was going for here with like the illustration look, and you can mess with these, of course, and make them different. Maybe make this stand out a little bit more, but yeah, overall, I hope this helps, and have a good weekend.